Hey, what's going on, guys? So we have a video from Michael Knowles called Vegans Are Wrong Explained. Michael Knowles. I don't think I've ever responded to him on this channel before, but I've been meaning to because he has said some really silly things about vegans in the past. So let's get on with the video.
Few things make me happier than chomping down on some dead, juicy, delicious animals. And this, unfortunately, creates a conflict between me and the vegan activists. So my producers gathered together.
So he's, appealing to his conservative audience right at the beginning, talking about how he loves to eat animals and, those kinds of people who really love their meat. America, meat. The two things that we stand for. The
strongest arguments made by the vegans on TikTok, and we will see if those arguments persuade me to give up.
Now, he says strongest arguments made by vegans on TikTok. And, I'm not too familiar with what goes on TikTok, so maybe these are the strongest arguments. I'm not sure, but I doubt they're going to be the strongest, in general. Let's see.
My beloved meat. For now, vegans, take it away.
It's vegan because it's strawberry milk and not like cow milk. You know what I mean?
So please tell me how you milk a strawberry.
The same way that you...
Yeah, I don't know how that was an argument for veganism. It just seemed like somebody explaining how a certain plant milk works, but okay, let's keep going.
You milk an almond in the same way that you milk an oat.
Would you milk me?
You probably need like little tiny baby fingers to go get the little cute udders on the oats, and you just squeeze them and then you get the milk out of it. Yeah! That's an obvious one. Next one.
Yeah, so he's, obviously implying that plant milks are milk, but if we just look at the definition of the word milk, they are. So, Cope.
What's your favorite restaurant?
I go to Taco Bell all the time.
What do you get at Taco Bell?
I get a crunch wrap, but swap out the beef and get some beans in there. Also swap out the sour cream and the cheese. And yeah,
don't they use eggs in their wraps?
I hope they don't.
Yeah,
But
I hope they don't
They don't do that.
either, because then that wouldn't be vegan.
You're under arrest for veganity violation.
I don't know why she was coming at me.
I have seen vegan YouTubers who go to Taco Bell and can make it vegan just to show people that it can be convenient.
I don't know why you guys are trying to tell me about it.
I eat honey, but
Honey isn't vegan.
Did you learn that at Vegan Academy?
I can't tell if she's extremely pro-vegan or if she's actually trying to convince people not to be vegan at all. Because this isn't just a phenomenon that happens with vegans. This is true.
Okay, so obviously Michael Knowles isn't doing his research. This video was just from Jubilee, in which one person wasn't vegan and they were trying to figure out who the mole was or who the person was who wasn't vegan. So everybody was trying to be vegan. They were questioning each other. It was just a little game, but I guess he just didn't do the due diligence to, verify any of this. So he just thinks this is a video of somebody just being very confrontational and questioning. So that's amazing stuff. Let's keep going.
Of any group, you will always have people who are more orthodox in that group than others, who are more rigorous and more disciplined than others. And so when people are more...
I love how he just has no idea that this clip was actually a game and just people trying to figure out who the vegan was. So by definition, they're going to be, or by default, they're going to be questioning each other. So he sees a video of people questioning each other, especially that one girl. And now he's looking at this as oh, look, this is a great example of how certain groups of people have more extreme people than others, which obviously, by the way, I agree with. That's just the case with almost any activist group, right? But it's just funny that he's taking this clip completely out of context to, lend credence to what he's about to say when it actually doesn't apply to it whatsoever.
It's good for them to have a spirit of charity and patience and try to bring others along. But very often what happens is you'll have the people just become uber cool, super purity monsters who will just insist that if you in any way deviate from what they are doing, that you're just a complete degenerate refuse trash. And that's what...
Yeah, again, the thing you just watched was people trying to see if people understood what veganism was to verify who was and wasn't vegan in the group.
She's doing there.
You looked at a glass of milk once. Yeah, that's not vegan.
So it's a battle between an extraordinarily unreasonable person and an only semi-unreasonable person. That would be the kind of moderate vegan.
And we have a very unreasonable person here who doesn't actually verify what he's watching and just takes everything to be at face value. Amazing.
But I really like her because the effect of her snarkiness and arguments is to show people that they're probably not vegan and veganism might well be...
She wasn't making an argument. She was asking questions.
...impossible, and there's really no reason to be vegan anyway. I haven't really heard a good argument to be vegan at all. Just all these ways in which people fall short. Okay, next one.
Yeah, here's a good argument to be vegan. It's wrong to violate the rights of animals, and we can't really justify violating these rights in a way that is logically consistent. Animals are sentient. They'd rather not be bred, exploited, and murdered for a sandwich. I mean, we can get more deep in that if you want to get into philosophy, but that's a pretty basic reason why someone should go vegan, Animal abuse is problematic. We should not support it. Violating animal rights is not a good thing, right?
So you actually believe that you aren't an animal?
So what am I? I'm a human being. I'm a Homo sapiens.
Yeah, Homo sapiens aren't animals, right?
We're mammals.
You're ridiculous. You're ridiculous.
I'm sorry, but you don't believe that humans are animals. That is
ask God if he
insane.
made you an animal. Ask God. Try
This is quite insane.
that.
I'm sorry, where is this God? And by the way, if God and the devil were in a room with a baby lamb, who would slit the baby lamb's throat?
I assume the devil. Or the lamb would lay down his life for his friends as a sacrifice to the Father and then be resurrected on the third day. But she made the error from the beginning. And I guess the guy was not totally precise in his language either, which is, yes, we're animals. We're just a different kind of animal. Human beings are animals, but we're rational animals.
Yeah, not all humans are rational, though. There's certain mentally handicapped humans that show no greater degree of intelligence than these animals that he claims that it's justified to kill because they don't have our, average level of rationality. Okay, so if that's why he thinks that humans are separate from animals morally, does he think it's ethical to massacre particular humans who don't meet this, intellect criteria?
We have a rational soul.
Yeah, what's the evidence for a soul? And also, do these mentally handicapped humans who aren't as rational as humans, do they have a rational soul?
We have will and intellect. We can conceive of things in the abstract.
Pretty sure animals have will. And yeah, not all humans can perceive of things in the abstract. What's your point here? Do we get to eat them?
And turn our will toward those things rationally. We don't just follow our appetitive will. We don't just follow our base will. We don't just follow our desires for food or whatever, but we also follow our higher will and our concept of justice. The beasts can't have a concept of justice. Right now, go to grill.
Okay, so we get to kill and eat humans that don't have a concept of justice because they have a mental handicap. Amazing. Yeah, then I think here he has like just some advertisement for a grill. He obviously timed this ad with this anti-vegan video. Let's just skip it real quick. Oh yeah, this next part is a religious part where, I don't really like to get too into the whole like religious arguments and citing Bible quotes to get people to go vegan because of how subject to interpretation religion can be. I'm going to leave this part out just because there is a documentary coming out soon called Christspiracy that I don't want to spoil too much about, but they will cover some of these religious arguments for going vegan probably better than I can right now. So we're just going to go ahead and skip this religious part because, I just don't want to waste my time on it. Plus, when it comes to religion, you guys know how I feel about it if you've watched the channel for a bit. If somebody thinks that it's justified to go ahead and kill animals because God says it's moral, is it okay to do things just because God says it's moral? They're going to say yes. And you ask them, okay, if God says tomorrow we get to kill left-handed people or left-handed children for that matter, for food or whatnot, is this going to be okay now in your view because God says so? If not, they're being inconsistent. And if they say yes, that's a super insane view that just because God says something is right, that it's totally right. Imagine God just said, it's okay to kill your entire family or torture your entire family. Let's make it just as bad as possible. You think these people are going to be like, yeah, that's totally moral, right? Obviously insane.
Okay, next one.
He hates animals. Human rights are animal rights because humans are animals. If you fight for human rights and you don't fight for animal rights, you're being a speciesist. And that's just the fact of the matter.
Very cool.
She said human rights are animal rights because humans are animals. I mean, that is true. But obviously when we say animal rights, we're talking about non-human animals. Like we all know that there's a distinction there.
Well, speciesist. That makes sense.
He's the first president in like 145 years to not have a dog companion. I mean, I'm not saying the people that don't like dogs are bad people, but I'm just saying.
Only the dog lovers would understand that.
Caring towards animals is a good trait to have in a human.
He's got a lot on his plate. Having a dog, and that's a lot. I mean,
we're trying to fight against, and that's the kind of animal abuse that he thinks should be private information because those individuals deserve their privacy.
Who did you vote for?
I didn't vote.
Fleckus, one of the all-time great interviewers out there. She makes one point that's true, which is that we shouldn't be cruel to animals. What are you doing? That's bad when we're cruel to animals. But the reason it's bad...
So we shouldn't be cruel to animals, yet he pays for animals to be holocausted for a burger. Amazing.
When we're cruel to animals, it's not because animals have any rights. If you're for human rights, but you're not for animal rights, you're a speciesist. What is a speciesist? I guess a speciesist...
Let's see what he thinks a speciesist is.
It's someone who draws distinctions between different species, which is true. Guilty as charged. You got me.
Yeah, so that's a misrepresentation of what speciesism is. Speciesism is not when you're a person who draws distinctions between species. I do that. Just being able to recognize that there are different species does not make you a speciesist. It's similar to racism or sexism, where you discriminate based on species. When it comes to sexism, you discriminate based on sex. Racism, you discriminate based on race. Speciesism simply is just discriminating against somebody else because they're a different species than you. Not taking into account anything like intelligence or anything like that, just simply the fact that they're not your species. So no, that was very much a misrepresentation. That's like saying racism is when you recognize that there are different races, or sexism is when you recognize there are different sexes. Obviously, that's not what these things mean. I don't know how he inferred any of that.
Of all the isms and the phobias I've been accused of, that one takes the cake. I am a speciesist. I don't want to be cruel to animals, but only because that would dull my humanity. Only because that would turn me into a psycho, and in a way, probably create in me or stoke in me an appetite for suffering, a delight. And so that's what like little kids who torture animals, they turn into serial killers. So that's why.
Yeah, it's very bizarre when people say that, like, oh, it's wrong to hurt animals, not because it's wrong to hurt the specific animal and cause them suffering and they're, a sentient being that doesn't want to suffer, but instead because it might make you more likely to hurt other humans. It's like you can't just recognize that outside of human interactions it's wrong to go up to a puppy and just kick them. Like imagine like your kid is kicking a puppy and it's like, oh my God, don't kick that puppy. You might kick a human next. It's like, no, don't kick that puppy because the puppy doesn't want to be kicked. Like, come on, dude.
How you do it? But it's not because the animal has a rational soul or any rights or anything like that. It's just because of you. Okay, keep going.
All right, we're at a pig vigil right now outside of a slaughterhouse that slaughters 10,000 pigs per day. We're bearing witness to the pigs going in, stopping the trucks, giving them water, giving them love, and then these people show up. They think it's hilarious to come and set up a barbecue.
Yeah, so this is just, you know, I think I've seen this before. Some dude set up a barbecue at a pig vigil. Super funny stuff. I think that's the end of the video. Let's see. Yes, that is the end of the video. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Just a basic summary. Speciesism is when you just distinguish between species, just like sexism is when you just distinguish between sex, not when you discriminate based on either of these traits. Makes a lot of sense. And Michael Knowles thinks that it's ethical to kill certain disabled human beings for food who don't meet this particular threshold of intelligence he claims that, you know, humans generally have. Definitely not a psychopathic position. Oh, and lastly, animal suffering and all that is wrong, not because, you know, these animals have rights and they probably shouldn't suffer, they don't want to suffer, whatever, but because doing so might make you want to hurt another human. Who cares about animals in them of themselves? They're just like these things that might make us want to hurt humans, and that's why we shouldn't hurt them. Beautiful position. We also shouldn't hurt certain mentally handicapped humans who don't have rational souls or rational minds, because, you know, hurting them might make us hurt a more rational human in the future. Amazing stuff, guys. All right, well, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you support my work and want to get early access to it and support me on Patreon, click the link in the pinned comment, and you can also message me one-on-one there. And if you don't know, I do have a book going over most, if not all, of the anti-vegan arguments you can hear online. If you want to get that as well, that'll be linked in the pinned comment. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Dude,
fuck off. I don't want anything to do with you. Don't ever speak to me again. You're a fucking piece of shit.
Even vegans don't get your weird, stupid wannabe sense of irony here. Who's your audience? Nobody gets these dumb jokes. Dude,